and give a scenario. Like, it's Friday night.
Yeah, okay.
And you feel alright.
And you want to dance, but you don't actually want to dance. You just want to watch a
Get some
movie.
popcorn.
All right, we're here for our first ever episode of Watch Culture, the show where I, and sometimes guests, will talk to you about the films that we think you should watch, or rather, the films that I think are good recommendations for you to watch. I'm going to talk to you really quickly about stuff. It's not going to be an in-depth analysis like we do on Crosstalk or my interviews or any of the other shows. This is going to be very, very to the point. And the goal here is to give you something to do on a Friday night when you're not sure what you should be doing. You want to watch a Netflix show or you want to do something on Spotify, you got to listen to that new album. This is a way to get you the culture that you need. So, I thought I would kick off the first episode with something very near and dear to my heart. Something that I can talk about at length very easily. And because I'm doing this all by myself, I don't have to worry about any of my friends or peers coming in and telling me how it is. So I thought I would talk about 2001's The Fast and the Furious, directed by Rob Cohen. This is my all-time favorite movie. I have to talk about it. I've been thinking about it for years. I've been wanting to talk about this movie for years. And so I'm going to try and do this movie the best justice I can, as quickly as I can.
Are you serious, Tim? Are you serious? Fast and Furious again? Gosh, man.
I had to, though, because the thing about The Fast and the Furious is that you guys know that the 8th movie in this franchise is coming out in less than, well, you don't know when I'm recording this, but I'll just let you know, it's the 1st of April. So in less than 2 weeks, I'm going to watch the 8th movie in this franchise. And I'm so excited about it. I'm actually I don't know if you can see it on my face right now, but I'm a little bit teary-eyed because I'd never thought this movie would last this long. It's been quite the journey. So anyway, The Fast and the Furious, 2001, Rob Cohen. I watched this movie when I was still in high school, and I was working in an arcade, and not to give a bunch of details, but effectively, the reason why I fell in love with it is because I worked at an arcade called Palladium, and we had to watch, on our breaks, we could use a television and watch VHS tapes. So a lot of the guys, they would record movies from, Movie Central or whatever the channel was at the time. And so that was how I was introduced to the movie, was through short little half-hour interactions. And I must have watched that movie in parts 12 times. So it sort of injected it into my brain. And I think it suits the movie so well because the movie is actually filmed with no static shots. You watch that movie, and throughout the movie, every shot is either panning or the action has the actors moving across the screen. There's nothing in that you would consider a classic static shot. They're all moving at different pace. So that's one of the main reasons why I love this movie, because in terms of its execution, it actually accomplishes something that not a lot of films will play with in terms of aesthetics. Another really fun fact about The Fast and the Furious is that it was filmed based on an article, and I believe it was in the New York Times, but about street racing culture. Rob Cohen read this article and was inspired to make a film based on this article about street racing culture. And it has been attributed as a remake or version of Point Break, which is also a classic and excellent film. If you haven't seen it, Keanu Reeves and the late and great Patrick Swayze. But anyway, The Fast and the Furious is not a shot-for-shot remake of Point Break by any means. It's a very different movie. It's classic in the sense of the characters that are in it now are well-known characters like Paul Walker, Vin Diesel, Jordana Brewster, Michelle Rodriguez. All of these actors have gone on to do tons of other movies, and they're well-known entities in cinema. Interestingly enough, this movie does not rate very highly on a lot of popular aggregators. So I think I read recently that Rotten Tomatoes has it as a 53%. I widely disagree with this, obviously. And I'm known for liking well-made movies. And IMDb gives it a little bit better shake. I think it gives a 60% or something like that. Another fun fact about the movie is that over 1,500 cars were used throughout the race wars sequence, which is actually the original title of the film. And throughout the film, another fun fact, you'll see they actually asked residents of the communities in which they filmed to mute down the tone of the houses so they can more accentuate the vibrant colors of the cars. So the cars really pop and become the focal point of the story. So as much as it's about the actors and the actresses, the cars play a big part in the story as well. There's another scene in the movie where they're all sitting down and watching movies, having popcorn, and Vince has just been like rejected by Mia. She's decided to go on a date with Brian O'Connor, and he leaves to go back into the main room, and on screen they're watching Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, which is directed by Rob Cohen. So anyway, I love this movie. It has a love for movies. It's well made. It's really interesting, and it's spawned a franchise from nothing. Like, if you look at a lot of the franchises that exist today, they're all adaptations. This is adapted from almost nothing. It's almost purely its own thing. So, I think you should watch The Fast and the Furious. And this is our first ever episode of Watch Culture.